Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for Vindication. It is time for Vindication. Yes, the quote-unquote shill media, the mainstream media, all the comic book websites, the movie websites, the ones that have been attacking YouTubers for years, are finally admitting that the MCU is in big, big trouble.
I think it's funny because I did the rumor about Brie Larson the other day, and people in the comments are losing their shit because they're like, that's a lie, you're terrible, how dare you spread this stuff? Because one person said on a podcast, and I was like, but it's the mainstream media who's running with it, and I'm just talking about what they're saying. And I stressed repeatedly it was a rumor, but it was the mainstream media that you adore and love who was the ones perpetuating it.
Yeah. So welcome to the party, pals. I think Mickey's checks are bouncing or something, because we're seeing this happen more and more. We're seeing a lot of these outlets, and they will never apologize.
No.
They will never apologize. The Twitter weirdos will never say, hey, everybody's saying what you guys were saying 2 or 3 years ago, that the MCU's headed for an iceberg. They'll just report on it and sweep it all under the rug and, you know, whatever.
They're allowed to say it now because it's them.
They're allowed to say it now because of them. And they're also panicking. I think a lot of these pop culture websites, gaming websites, movie websites are living on borrowed time because they're being shut down at a shocking rate because they're really not worth it for their advertisers.
I think it's like, oh no, we're wrong. Quick, let's pretend we've been right the entire time.
That is pretty much it. Oh my God, we're wrong. And there will never be an apology. This even goes along with Hogwarts Legacy. There are websites reporting fairly now on Hogwarts Legacy, and the same websites were a couple months ago talking about how you shouldn't buy Hogwarts Legacy, and a couple of them walked it back, but they never apologized, like, hey, yeah, we really went hard in the paint on this, and we really helped stir stuff up. And no, they're just like, oh, it's the highest selling game out there right now? Okay, we'll just pretend we didn't say anything.
We had nothing to do with it. It was the YouTubers.
It was the YouTubers. Quick, blame the YouTubers. Always their fault. So let's talk about this. Ant-Man 3, falling off a cliff. This is a trend going on with Marvel movies right now, and it's so obvious that comic book resources can't hide it, Screen Rant can't hide it anymore, Slash Film can't hide it. Everybody pointing out that Ant-Man 3 did terrible, absolutely terrible, and it is a downward trend for the MCU. Now, the only bright spot I think they have this year is probably going to be Guardians 3, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but the Marvels sounds like it's a freaking train wreck. I think
part of it is people are just tired of superhero movies, and they're tired of, like, you can't just have a one-off movie or like a trilogy for a character. It has to be this ongoing, overarching, 20-year commitment, and people are just like, I don't want to do it anymore. Yeah,
and that's just it. I mean, there was a great stepping off point, which was Endgame, and Spider-Man was kind of an encore. And for most people, it's like, wait, now I got to watch how many freaking Disney Plus, subpar Disney Plus shows.
It's not just Marvel. I think it's DC too. People are like, wait, we're going to reboot it and start all over again. I'm like, Shazam's not going to probably do that well because what's the point? They're just going to redo it anyway.
Yeah.
They're banking everything on the Flash, and that might do well, but it's going to be because of Batman.
Because of Batman, that's it.
Hate Ezra Miller at this point.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's talk about this. Before we get to it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, over 297, almost 300,000 subs. Yay! Thank you for the support.
So we're almost 298.
Yeah, we are. We're less than 100 away.
So close.
Go out to clownfishtv.com. Go out to piratesandprincesses.net. We are vindicated now because these sites are saying a lot of the same things we've been saying for the last couple of years. And a lot of these sites were taking pot shots at YouTubers like ourselves. And now they're agreeing. They're agreeing because you can't hide it anymore. It's like the MCU is in freefall. They literally said Ant-Man the Wasp is dealing with critical and financial freefall, and it may be a sign of things to come for some future MCU films. Coming from comic book resources.
How dare they?
Which had a couple of writers that really did not like us very much.
You know what? But they're not there now.
No, I don't think they're there now.
You know what? I mean, isn't it just because of the alt-right?
Yeah.
The misogynists?
Oh my God. Comic book resources has been infiltrated by the alt-right. They're going to indoctrinate all of you using the Marvel movies. Because, remember just a few short years ago, before the mainstream media said it was okay to dunk on Disney, a few short years ago, if you didn't like Marvel products and you didn't like Star Wars products, you were a gateway to the alt-right.
That's right.
And basically a Nazi because only Nazis hate Disney brand Star Wars.
That's right.
Like what the actual
But it's okay
hell?
now that they're saying it.
Now they're saying it's totally
Now if you
fine.
like it, you're... So.
All right. They said that Ant-Man and the Wasp, what a title. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. That sounds like a video game. It's the first part of the MCU's Phase 5. Yeah, because they skipped the Marvels. Marvels was supposed to...
It was supposed to be, yeah. And then
Yeah.
They pushed it back like 4 times now.
It's not starting things off on the right foot. Beyond its tepid at best reviews, that's what they're calling it. The film is underperforming at the box office. That continues a downward trend for Marvel Studios' shared universe, and it may only get worse. What? It's not the alt-right tanking the movie because there's a black man in it?
Well,
That's
no.
what?
They'll say that, but then they'll still say it's the alt-right.
I haven't seen anybody say that about this one. Because the thing is actually people are saying, I forget his name off the top of my head, the dude that plays Kang, they say is actually like the best part of the movie.
That's what I've heard from
He's
pretty much
actually very,
everyone.
very good. And they said he's wasted because they're like, you put Kang, who is a presence, next to, freaking MODOK,
Oh my God, MODOK.
who's a laughing stock. He looks like the annoying orange in a Jazzy with legs, and it's like you can't take him seriously. They're like, this is a guy that actually could hold his own against Thanos, and you put him in such a ridiculous movie that it's people are gonna look at this and be like, yeah, I don't care. Like Secret War, like I don't give a shit. Is gonna be more of this? I don't care.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't care. Nobody cares. Quantumania had a lot riding on it, despite being a sequel to the low-key Ant-Man films. Its negative fallout is seeing it break MCU records in the wrong direction. The movie could definitely end up being a flop. It is. With so much still up in the air for Marvel's future, this isn't exactly a boost of confidence the studio needed to get things back on track. They said that the film is underperforming everywhere, with its domestic haul actually being something of a bright spot. Quantumania is a certified flop in countries like China.
They got to run it in China.
Yeah, they did. So you take China away, and it's even worse, right? Which were once major markets for the MCU. Alternatives, Cocaine Bear and Jesus Revolution might not seem like actual competition, but they did surprisingly well.
Hey, I will tell you what. I haven't seen either one of those films, but I know somebody who went to see Jesus Revolution, and the theater was completely packed.
See, that sounds like a video game too.
I never even heard
Jesus
of it
Revolution.
until like after we started talking about it with this. But they went and they said that there was not an open seat anywhere. Like the whole theater was completely full. And I was like, what?
See, I hear the title, and it's got Kelsey Grammer, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest here. Christian films don't usually do that all that well in the theater.
No, they don't.
And this is coming from somebody who actually is a Christian, and they don't know.
We're just not very.
We're not very good at it. Every night I'm like, please God forgive me for all the swear words.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, God.
pretty much. But it's surprising, and I'm hearing that the theaters were very, very full for the Jesus Revolution film.
I was just thinking it's like DDR with Jesus or
It's
something.
like Dance Jesus Revolution.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, Creed 3 coming out. I think it's coming out this weekend. I don't know. And we got Shazam coming.
Shazam's coming.
And,
They don't know if the Shazam's going to do that well, but we'll see.
Shazam. Shazam was one of the better DCEU movies. But yeah.
So we got two Captain Marvel movies in the same year.
Well, it's interesting. Okay, so this is CBR that was like, all the bigots and the misogynists are hating the women's, and they're like basically saying Quantumania is a sign of things to come, and Captain Marvel 2, aka the Marvels, aka Brie Larson's midlife crisis, is not looking very good.
No.
It's not looking very good.
And again, I want to point out, these people are losing their shit about me saying about Brie Larson. It's like, they're all saying it. We just covered it. They're all saying it because we're like, holy crap, they all are saying this now.
Yeah, they're saying the only recent MCU movie to perform at the same level or above its predecessors is Spider-Man No Way Home. The only Phase 4 film to make $1 billion or more, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, escaped making $1 billion and mainly rode the nostalgia cameo hype of No Way Home. Because a lot of people thought they needed to go see it. And I think actually Doctor Strange caused a lot of damage because people went to go see this movie. They hadn't seen WandaVision. and they're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, that's true.
And then, or they watch WandaVision and they're like, how did she go from like redeemed to evil again?
I know. I was mad about that, actually.
What's going on here?
I was mad because I was like, wait, she already started to realize that what she did was not okay. So it's like Star Wars, where we went from, The Force Awakens to The Last Jedi, where you have Finn and Poe, who were like, Finn especially realized, all these things and became a good character. And then immediately in Last Jedi, he's a shitty coward again. And it was like that. It was like Wanda, suddenly somebody different again.
I think this is what happens when you've got too many cooks in the kitchen and they're not communicating well enough to be like, oh, hey, no, actually by the end of WandaVision, she's kind of come to grips with things and she's ready to move on. She's not going to go back to the dark. And yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, the only bright spot for me for that was as a comic book reader, I was like, oh my God, we actually got comic book Scarlet Witch. Mm-hmm. And then they killed her. Oh, I'm sorry. Spoilers. Yeah, she'll be back.
Well,
she always comes back.
They already said she's going to be back.
Yeah, she'll be back.
So, now Thor Love and Thunder did crap. It's almost like, it's so funny to me because I keep, hyping some of these movies, and then you have YouTubers out there, us and other ones, being like, it's not going to do well. I mean, I don't think it looks very good. People aren't really happy. Oh, no, you're just haters. Haters, I tell you. And then it comes to pass, and you're like, told you.
But this is funny because this is everything. God, this is everything we've been saying. This
I know.
Is so aggravating.
I know.
It's almost like they listen to us.
I think some of them do, actually.
I think some of them do. All the while, fans have been clamoring for the X-Men to be introduced, with the mutants and Spider-Man perhaps being the only Marvel properties that still grab instant attention. If they go through with making the changes to the X-Men they've been talking about, or that have been rumored, and they let Victoria Alonso call them the X-People or whatever, and they change all the characters to be more politically correct, X-Men will fall flat on its face. I mean, they did the Dark Phoenix saga, for God's sake, and it bombed. So the X-Men are not a guaranteed draw. The only way the X-Men are going to be a guaranteed box office draw is if you go...
Prom. No, I'm kidding. Look on your face.
Wait, what?
I said the only way X-Men's going to be a guaranteed box office draw is I said prom. Because they keep doing the galas. The look on your face was like...
No, that's not it.
It's funny.
Go back to early 90s X-Men. Give us a movie that evokes the cartoon show that everybody's familiar with, the Jim Lee lineup that everybody's familiar with, those costumes, those versions of the characters.
Yeah, you even say that. Then they're doing the X-Men 97 cartoon show, and then the guy was in charge of it got a lot of crap because he said basically it was a mandate to be a fan of the original and understand the characters before you could be in the writer's room.
It's not hard. All you have to do is give people, because that's one thing people have been asking for with the X-Men for decades, because none of the X-Men movies have been an accurate representation of the X-Men on film. There've been bits and pieces there, but like the first X-Men movies, they had to make it more realistic because they didn't have the budget to do it, whatever, small cast, whatever. Disney, look, guys, you've already introduced so many ridiculous, if you can do MODOK in live action,
oh my God. They didn't do it well.
They didn't do it well, but you can put the X-Men in their comic book costumes from the early 90s and nobody's going to even flinch. Do that. Pick one of the most popular, 80s, 90s storylines and run with it and stay the hell away from prom and just give people a mostly comic book accurate X-Men movie. Throw the theme music in from the cartoon show, nostalgia bait the hell out of it. It is money in the bank. That's why Spider-Man did so well. It was nostalgia bait. Yeah, but it was handled well. It was done well. But it was also nostalgia bait because it's like all the Spider-Man all in one place. This is all your favorites. This is like the team-up movie you've been waiting for.
They even put the meme in there.
They even put the meme in there. Freaking lean into it with the X-Men. Do an X-Men movie, and be like, if you're going to do an X-Men, say, hey guys, X-Men the movie's coming. People are going to be thinking immediately, 1992 X-Men. That music, those character designs, the Jim Lee cover, the whole freaking thing. Like even have a slow-mo shot in the movie that is the Jim Lee cover from X-Men #1 with them all going to attack Magneto or something.
So Baywatch that shit.
Baywatch it in slow motion.
That's why I said Baywatch.
As they're attacking comic book accurate Magneto with that music from that cartoon show, and you will make $2 billion. But I know you're too fucking stupid to do it.
I don't think it's stupid so much as scared of certain people.
Well, those certain people are running out of money, aren't they? So you better do what you got to do to make some damn money, Disney. And whatever you're planning to do with the X-Men, which if it's close to what I'm hearing, it's going to go in the opposite direction. And you thought Dark Phoenix was a bomb? You know.
And the first thing to do is get rid of some of these people that are making these decisions. And it's not because of their gender, because I'm sure you could find other women who would be more than happy to step into these roles, who are not all just white women, who would do a much better job. And would actually like the original. It's just they use it as a shield and excuse to push their personal vision. You can find other women who happen to be diverse, and they'll probably do a much better job and still hit the check boxes for you.
Yeah, it's Victoria Alonso is, my understanding is she is behind a lot of these idiotic decisions in Phase 4, and she needs to go. Ant-Man 3. Worldwide, here we are, a month out.
Oh, wow, that's bad.
$425 million worldwide, and it only did 192 domestic. And
that's not good.
4,300 theaters. The last Ant-Man movie was in fewer theaters, and it did 622
Still
million.
Not great, but I mean, much better. The Ant-Man's never been, and then the thing, they put Kang and Ant-Man, and I get why. But it was never one of their big drivers of viewership. I mean, if you're going to use a character like that, I wouldn't have put it in an Ant-Man film.
I think they were trying to drive the numbers up, and I think what they were doing was kind of like, I think they're trying to make it one of these must-see, like you have
People
to.
aren't falling for that anymore.
No, they're not.
They're tired of it.
You have to see Ant-Man and the Wasp because it leads into Secret Wars.
But you could get away with that a while ago, but now people are just like, no, I'm out. If that's the case, I'm out. If it's a one, and I can go watch this movie and enjoy it, but not have to rely on it to know what's going on later, then if I don't want to go see other movies, then they'd be fine. People would probably come back. But because they know it's just one giant bait, for the next film, and they're just like, don't care.
But there we go, guys. All of these film outlets, all of these trusted bastions of journalistic integrity, all of them are now agreeing with YouTubers.
Yeah, but they're not going to say that.
They're not going to say that. No, they're just going to report and be like, oh yeah, remember that time when some of our reporters were actually stalking, doxing, and harassing YouTubers? Yeah, we don't talk about that. We just don't talk about it anymore. Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.